2023 presidential or general election is just few days away, and everybody is anxiously waiting for this exercise to come and go, because we can already feel the impact of whatsoever is going on or leading to these elections, most notably the CBN policy. When CBN decides to be the EFCC or the ICPC or high neck, trying to fight vote buying or, help the government, then, the state in which Nigeria is at the moment. But we are still going to talk about that, by the way. Hello, guys. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. And this is the Ariamus Family TV. We bring you amazing content. We talk about family issues. We talk about our life experience. We are based here in Istanbul. And if this is your very first time of stopping by, please do us a favor, smash the subscribe button, and do leave your notification bell turned on so you are notified each time we'll drop a new video. All right, guys, without further ado, this election is finally few days away, and even though I will not be voting in Istanbul at the moment. By the way, before I talk about the election, once again, we want to send our condolences to the nation of Turkey for the devastating earthquake that occurred earlier this month, on the 6th of this month to be precise. And just yesterday again, we had 2 more earthquakes in that same region, and a lot of life has been lost, a lot of buildings, a lot of things have been destroyed. And we pray for the bereaved, those who are still expecting, the remains. Rubbles are being digged, and we pray that God will console the nation and God will heal our land. And our prayers, our thoughts are with the nation, and especially those who are bereaved at this moment. All right, guys, let's dive into 2023 presidential election. This is my final scorecard. I did a first scorecard of what I think based on where I am, situation of things. And by the way, I was in Nigeria for a month and 6 weeks between October the 15th and ending of November thereabouts. I came around, and so I was able to feel or sample the opinion of my family and some of my loved ones, or old friends. Boy, I miss Nigeria. It was nice to be back in Nigeria, but let's dive back into what we're talking about, which is election. Yes, election is here, and even though I'm not going to vote, I've said that. I think this is the second time I'm saying it, but everyone is interested. Everyone wants to know, or everyone has the candidate that they think should emerge or will emerge. And I know that this is going to be a major talking point in many homes. In my home family here, even though we are not going to vote, everybody has been voicing their opinion. My wife has her opinion. I have my opinion. Definitely, it's similar. But all the same, I know this is what is definitely going to happen in many homes. Some families may end up, voting as a block for a particular candidate, while others, there's a split between the husband and wife. It happens everywhere when elections here. In a family, you may find, in America, you may find a Republican, you can find a Democrat, you can find someone who is independent, who is neutral, and so on and so forth. And this is not going to be an exception. My focus, and just like I did when I did the first scorecard, is going to be on just the contenders. There are lots of candidates going into these presidential elections, but I strongly believe that we just have probably just 4 main contenders. Others are pretenders. It's not that they do not have credible ideas, or they are not fit enough to be president, or they do not believe. There's one thing for you to believe that you are going to win, and reality or perception or the vibe or opinions of people. So even though I am not God, anything can still happen, but I strongly believe that these are the 4 contenders that stands a chance, or between these 4 people, we are going to have a new president. And this election is very, very interesting and amazing. And it's one that I'm looking forward to, because this is the first time that for a long time, or since we started this new democratic dispensation, we are not going to have a military general in vying for office. Or, well, some of them, they virtually all of them are affiliated to the ministry, to the military in one way or the other. One is a custom officer, but so, or a military head of state, or someone who has ruled us in the time past, coming back again to rule us again. So we are not going to have that on the table, and we are not going to have Buhari again, because the Buhari has always been on the ballot since 2003, and he has kind of like gathered a lot of votes, sealed a lot of votes, and this is a time that these things will be tested. Also, social media, we are going to know whether it's a hype or not in this election. So everybody is bracing up to, to see how it's going to go. And I am also getting excited and I'm thrilled. Let's see how it's going to go. All right. So those are my, focus in this video. Those are 4 candidates. Should we expect any late surprises or mergers? Yes, well, let's start with PDP. Going into the PDP presidential election or their Congress, I had Wike and Atiku neck to neck going into that Congress, or that electing Congress. But, just overnight, politicians, Atiku being a maestro, being someone who had, been in this game for a longer period of time, even though Wike has also been in, the local politics in Rivers State, but Atiku, the national level, he has always been there right from 1999. So he was able to, pull Tamboa and play the fast one on Wike, and he was able to jump in front of the queue at the dying moment, and oh boy, Wike could not respond, and he won the ticket. And in this election, I am not expecting a Kwankwaso to step down for Atiku. Let me be very frank. I think that Kwankwaso will definitely test himself in this election. I am not expecting Kwankwaso to be the next president of Nigeria, but there is this there's this feeling I have, or I kind of agree with the school of thought, that even though he is in this election, he is setting himself up to take over from Buhari. So maybe in the next 8 years, after maybe the presidency migrates to the south, for instance, he will be positioned to be the next heavyweight in the north. But who knows? The vice president, or whoever becomes the vice president, if the presidency eventually shifts to the south, may eventually also, gone for that, that top post. But I have not seen a Kwankwaso stepping down and playing a fast one on Atiku, or sorry, on the other candidates. Kwankwaso will just not step down. Also, but I am expecting a scenario in which Afga probably will join, maybe some are saying faction of ADC, some are saying it's the old party, and some other lower parties to maybe pull their weight behind Peter Obi for this election. Definitely, this is, I believe that this is the Southeastern's time to produce the president. And if I have a voter's card, I will definitely advise, or I will definitely vote for Peter Obi in this election. In the past, when I've had the opportunity of voting for candidates, I do not go for, the elite or people who were given opportunity once and have failed in the past. Okay, I like to test, or I like to put my weight behind, people that excite me, or people that, understands my viewpoint. So I would have voted for him, but unfortunately, I would not be voting. My wife also is a very, very, strong supporter of Peter Obi, but unfortunately, just like many people who are outside the country, if elections were to be held outside the country, then I would say that definitely Peter Obi stands the chance. But unfortunately, despite the fact that billions are being remitted annually by diasporans, they still do not have an opportunity to vote and decide who leads the country. The new Naira notes and vote by. Definitely, when I've been watching with keen interest TVC, Harris TV, Channels TV, the most interesting one was when President Buhari, when he came up with a speech, saying that, okay, 200 will remain, and, the reactions, the exchange. I saw Arise TV. I think Arise TV is PDP, because the the Rufais, the doctor Abati and co, they were praising the policy, saying it's good, even though Nigerians are suffering, while the journalists hang out, BKO, GKO, citizens, and so on. They were they were not against the policy, but they were against the implementation. But whatever way, this is my own opinion about that. I think the president of Nigeria has set a dangerous precedent as regards to his speech, because the Supreme Court is the final court of the land. It's supreme, and Nigeria will not stand if its rules, constitutions are not implemented or not followed. But I am not surprised. There have been a lot of court orders that have been set aside, that have not been followed, that have not been implemented, that have not been carried out by this administration. And this is one of those things that I think we hang over this administration when they hand over power. It's too late for them to change right now. A lot of things have happened, the Nnamdi Kanu case and many other things, Shore's case and so other things. We cannot just cherry pick which of the court decisions we want to follow. If you're asking Hassels to go back and obey court orders, the presidency, everyone must obey court orders. If a court is saying, release this guy, let him go, definitely the president should follow this. We cannot just cherry pick, this one suits what we want, suits us, and so on. No, we have to obey the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court is the final court. It's quite unfortunate. And I don't know whoever is advising the president. This is just wrong. It is wrong, and I hope that the president will reverse himself, because the Supreme Court is supreme. Let's see what the Supreme Court's decision, or what they will do on the 22nd of it's today. Let's see how the thing transpires. Let's see what the Supreme Court has to say about this. Now, when it comes to vote buying, I do not believe that the actions of the CBN will actually influence vote buying. They're saying, we want to remove 500, 1,000 just to minimize vote buying, or to stop or to curb vote buying. Come on, Nigerians are creative. They know how to reinvent, okay? They think a lot. Our politicians, they know how to come up with creative ways to siphon money, to inflict pain on the masses, on the people that they have chosen to represent, and they will still come online, tell you they are fighting corruption. My administration has made it its agenda to do this, and after saying that, they go behind and they craft dangerous, intelligent ways to siphon money. And so I'm not expecting CBN to win this fight. You cannot win against the elite, simply because the little money you have dropped is still going to fall into the hands of the elite, because they control this sector. They control everything in Nigeria. So you cannot fight against them. They are just too powerful. Hopefully, I hope that the CBN will be able to do the needful, because a lot of things are happening in the country. Lawlessness, anarchy. Some governors are saying they will be the Supreme Court, and so on and so forth. Banks are being attacked, looting going on. all for the sake of curbing vote buying or preventing corruption whatsoever. So I still do not think that this will curb vote buying, because I strongly believe that we are going to see vote buying in an unprecedented level this time around. There will be innovative ways. People will be sent money, via different means. So there will be definitely vote buying, and you will definitely see new notes in circulation during this election. Definitely, we are going to see a lot of videos of, money exchanging hands. Definitely, there will be vote buying. Will this policy affect the outcome of the election? A lot of people say it's going to affect the APC, it's going to do this. Only time will tell. But if I have to say, I don't think it's going to really affect the APC, because they have the money already to do the vote buying. And so that's Nigeria. That's the situation we find ourselves. Will religion play a role or a major factor in this election? And the answer for me is no. Religion will not play a major factor in this election, especially when it comes to the APC, because I think that ethnicity or tribe will carry more influence in this election rather than religion. A lot of Christians are going to vote for the APC, and that's just the truth. A lot of Christians are going to vote for them, but I still think that this election may fall along tribal lines. Definitely a lot of Easterners, a lot of Southerners, a lot of Southwesterners, or some in the Southwesterners will vote for OBE. Definitely, I expect, in my prediction, Asiwaju to carry Southwest, Atiku to do well in the Northwest, Northern region, and so on and so forth. So I think where you're from will play more role than your religion. All right, let's move to the next one, which is my prediction. Who is going to win? Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think is going to win? Definitely, I know that a lot of people, wherever you stand, whatever I say, a lot of people will not agree with what I have to say. Definitely, if you ask me, who do I want to win? Definitely, I'll tell you, I want Peter Obi to win. But if I have to look at what I've seen so far, if I have to, just be objective, then this is my final scorecard. If you're ready, I'm ready. So going to be coming in at number 4, okay? I'm going to say that Kwankwaso is going to, probably have the 4th highest vote, because number 1, the sentiment is power should go back to the South. The Northerners have done 8 years. It's time for another president to come from the southern part of the country. So I'm expecting him to lose some votes as a result of that. Also, President Buhari is coming from the same region as him. That's an issue. Then I don't think he has done enough canvassing across the nation for him to stand a chance. Definitely, I think this is a strategy for him to begin to build his coalition for future election and begin to, set himself up just like Tinubu did. If he can capture few states or few seats in the House of Assembly or in the Senate for his party, is going to, and they are able to retain them, or they are not deflecting to other parties, then it will go a long way. Let's see how the matchup will also go in the gubernatorial election in Kano State and the neighboring states for the NNP, New Nigerian People's Party, NNPP. All right, so going to be number 3 for me. Okay, for me is I think it's Peter Obi. I know a lot of people will not agree with me, but I just have to be sincere. I think going to be the 3rd place is Peter Obi. Simply the fact that, when it comes to election, structure is very important. It takes revolution. It takes, it takes a lot for someone who doesn't have a national spread, or someone who is not under a strong, structured party to win an election. It takes a lot. It takes revolution. It takes a lot. And I don't think that Peter Obi right now has gathered enough momentum definitely has the momentum online. He has the momentum in his region, but outside of his region, that support begins to wane. Okay, and look, this is the first time we are going to have a third and a fourth force. So this election is going to be special, but no matter how special it is, I am not expecting a Peter Obi to really move close to a PDP or the APC. So I'm not expecting a Peter Obi to do that, but definitely I'll be seeing whether his influence online will transfer to reality. That is what a lot of people want to see. We saw what happened in Osun State. It was a total disaster. There were lots of excuses. You know, people were saying there was 1 million march for Lasso and all those things. At the end of the day, he didn't even have close to 50,000 votes. And you say, oh, he's not this, he's not obedient. Oh, when did Obi went to campaign for PDP and all those things? So we are going to see, okay, definitely after this election, a lot of people will still have, you know, oh, the election was rigged. Oh, this is what happened. If their candidate doesn't win, that is election. People will have answers for failures or for not winning an election. I still believe that a structure or the structure of Labour Party is not strong enough to produce a presidency. It's not just strong enough, okay? For you to win the presidency, you need to have territorial powers or people in various regions in Nigeria who are helping you lock in the vote. And in a country where governors hold sway, hold enormous power, and if you cannot boast of a single governor, it becomes a very tall order. And if you do not boast of strong candidates who can go all out, mobilize the people to the polls to vote for you, it becomes an issue. So I still do not believe. I don't even, well, maybe, you know, in that region, they will have some elected of definitely people in that region. If you are in Labour Party and maybe you're on the ballot in South, in their region, definitely you stand a chance, definitely, of going to the Senate or the House of Assembly, which I think that is where it should start from. And hopefully it can also develop into a regional force, maybe with Wike in the South, because I think many of these people are positioning themselves for that. And, you know, I hear a lot of people will be saying none of these candidates, I can't say none of the 4 candidates are saints. Maybe he's the best of the 4 of them. Yes, he's the best of the 4 of them, but they are not saints. Obi was the vice presidential nominee with Atiku. So if Atiku is now a devil now, but he had Obi 4 years ago. So what made Obi different from him? Okay. So no one is super righteous or or who's a saint. No. All of them are corrupt. All of them are corrupt. That's just the simple truth. All of them are corrupt. They are all birds of the same feather. You know, when I hear some things that, oh, I'm going to restructure the country, Obi cannot restructure the country except he has the National Assembly in his hands. And let's face it, Obi, even if Obi becomes the president, he cannot restructure Nigeria. Jonathan tried it and he couldn't do it. For you to restructure Nigeria, are you going to say you are going to stop the cabals? Are you going to say you are going to stop you are going to stop, or you are going to cajole the National Assembly that are not even in your interest or are not even in your party? Because I don't see the Labour Party winning the lower house and the upper chamber. I don't see them. And even if they win, I don't see them, you know, restructuring Nigeria. So for me personally, some of these things are not achievable. I know over time it may be achievable. I'm not counting on the next president to restructure Nigeria. All of these people, they will just tell you, we'll do this, we'll do that. But many times they don't go into the nitty-gritty of things. Are you going to restructure Nigeria? Do you know what it takes to restructure Nigeria? So it's not just with the stroke of the pen, you will say, oh, we change the constitution of Nigeria. We do this. Okay. Conferences, sovereign national conferences have been organized in time past, but it was never implemented. I think it's on shelves of many of the, you know, leaders of the House of Representatives. So it takes more than just one man. Okay. And Nigerians should not be interested in, you know, building strong characters. We should be interested in building strong institutions. When you have strong institutions, you produce strong leaders. The institutions will force the leaders to do what is right. So I do not think that some of these things are achievable, but hopefully, Nigerians, we are hopeful enough. We pray a lot. Hopefully, let's hope that things will definitely improve. Then, so I don't think it has got enough structure, but definitely it has raised excitement, it has raised the atmosphere, and for the first time we can say that there is a third force or even a fourth force in this presidential election. If it was for me, Obi should be the president, but we need more than one man in the helm of affairs. It has to trickle down. So, and as Labour Party they do not have strong candidates in most of these states. I can't even say that they are going to win any state in terms of gubernatorial election, but definitely in senatorial election, they stand a chance in some of the states. So Peter Obi is most likely to come to, and I'm going to move to the second and the first together. I think from what I can see so far, it's going to be a very, very close race between Atiku and Tinubu. As of the moment, it's going to be a very, very strong race, but I am tilting towards Tinubu just because he's from the south and simply because Atiku has so much to deal with. Number one, Atiku, Kwankwanso, and Peter Obi, they were in the same party in 2019 and they lost against the APC, even though Buhari was on the ballot at that time. Now it's Tinubu, and it's Tinubu splitting these three people into different factions. So it's three factions against a faction that stood against them and won in 2018. Also, we have the G5 governor. We have some governors who are already campaigning for Obi. Or Tom is, saying he's ready to sacrifice his senatorial ambition for Obi. Definitely. I know he's not going to go for Atiku, and maybe he won't go for APC too. Then in some of these states, definitely they won't go against Obi. They will definitely not want that to backfire against them. So it's a very tricky race, but definitely looking at 2014-15 election, we could see that the impact that the new PDP as at that time had on the PDP. They said they wanted to rule for, I think, 1 billion years or 1,000 years or so. Ended up losing the election. So, and knowing the votes that will come from Rivers State, for example, if APC were able to get that, or even a Labour Party was able to lay hands on that chunk of vote, definitely. And I strongly believe that Tinubu is going to win the Southwest. Obi is going to win the Southeast and get enough votes in the South-South with PDP. In the Northern region, I think it's all about PDP and APC. So this is where the dilemma is. And even though I do not believe that this is going to go to a runoff, or if there will be a runoff, it is still going to be between the PDP and the APC. But I am tilting towards the APC to win this presidential election. You may say, oh, Shegun, when I did the first scorecard, someone said, oh, it's the Yoruba, my analysis of a Yoruba person. Well, I've never been a beneficiary of any government, whether it's a Yoruba or Hausa or Fulani or anything. I've never been a beneficiary. My family had never been a beneficiary. All I just want is a good governance. I want a Nigeria that is good for everyone. So I do not care the color. I do not care who becomes the president. For me personally, I would have loved the Obi. But from what I can see on ground, I just, my heart goes for Obi. But the truth of the matter is this: in this current democratic dispensation, or at the moment, Nigerian political scene is not sophisticated enough to accommodate a Peter Obi, or to have a Peter Obi. Maybe the more we develop, maybe the more we evolve in this political journey, definitely a Peter Obi will definitely rise. Then it will not be about money. It will not be about your tribe, your region, where you come from. It will all be about the quality of the candidate. Because if it's quality of the candidate, then Peter Obi stands shoulder ahead, or for me, of the four candidates, not the Bulaba, Balabu, or you understand, and a lot of dramas and so on. Those are my predictions for this forthcoming election. Oh, I've said a lot. If you were able to watch till the very end, I say thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But please, let's be civil in our criticism or contributions in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Shegun Aremo. This is Aremo's Family TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you